Woohoo! Well, if the day starts like this, we know it's going to be a scorcher this afternoon. As far as it's possible for it to be scorching hot in March. Funny old Norman weather. I love it when the day starts like this. It's almost spooky. You can only just see until the end of our land there. You can just make out the hedge, south side. And the camera has still not managed to catch a single bit of video of the badgers. I do not understand it. I put the camera smack in front of their den, not facing the hole because I didn't want to make it too obvious. But I literally put it, hold on, I'm just getting a bit nearer. Badgers live sort of on our doorstep, or almost. There. The badgers live in that pile of brambles. And I put the camera just there. I don't know if you can see that. The camera's trying to readjust to focus on my finger. I don't want that. I'll just move a bit closer. I don't know. Or maybe badgers are much smarter than I thought they were. I put the camera there, look. It looks rather a shabby business. But they live there, see? They live here. And that's one exit. That's one way they go out here, you see, into the neighbour's field. Maybe they've all been crushed by cars, I don't know. And here's another exit, all the way over there. You can see a very small path over to the horses' field where they did so much damage. And the third tiny path is there. Anyway, I'm pretty obsessed with badgers at the moment, mainly because they seem so elusive. Right, well here we are at the very far end of our property. This is the second drive, as was a long time ago. See? And here is the bank that was put up many years ago. I don't know by whom, but this is obviously when this alley had ceased to be a drive. And I'm just walking around here, around the outside of our property, so on our neighbour's piece of land. In fact, never mind, just don't tell him please. I don't think he'd care much. On the lookout for more badger sets, because I know that there are some here. And I've spotted already this huge great pile that's been dug out. Hold on, I'm just getting closer. One small one there, I don't know if that's a badger. That's a badger either. Is that big enough to be a badge? It's about maximum 30 centimeters across. I don't know if that's a badger. And in fact, the marks left are so vague. I don't think it's a fox though. Look at the colour of these limes in the early morning sun. Red, gorgeous. But then, at last, after putting the camera smack in front of the set entrance, we finally got a result. was beginning to think we had a very rare species of invisible badgers. They were so elusive, but it only took us 3 days to capture some images of them, but we made it in the end. Well, we found someone, a nice lady, to help us carrying all the little twigs which make all these piles here. Carry them onto the burning pile, which we will probably not burn in the end because there is a badger set in there as well. So we're just going to let it rot down over time. There you are. Well, good morning once again. 7 o'clock, and I have a bit of work today. I've got it all cut out for me. We are going to remove these rather unsightly vehicles and put them at least in a line to make the front tidy. And this is what I managed to do in the entrance, in our hall. There you are. Looks quite nice. I've done a lot of clearing up this week because it does have to be fairly presentable. There are still a few little bits and bobs lying around. The floor is not done, but that's going to last another while before we get that done. A few little riding things lying around, and of course the big pile of the leftover parquet. And some things belonging to my brother. But apart from that, I've tidied up the place. That's the second floor. The rose chandelier, which is still dusty. Apart from that, on the whole, I'm very pleased. It does have to be said, though, that with the weather we had this week, I spent most of it outside. And this is the ceiling of the entrance hall, which we redid completely at the very beginning of 2022. We painted this a little bit pink, but it's actually quite striking when you look at it from all the way down, first floor, the ground floor. And on both sides it's a colombage, half timber. There you are. So there's still quite a lot of work to do on this entrance hall, but the main reason I am cleaning it up like this is that I am going to try and send, I've taken a number of pictures of this entrance hall to send to a company that then selects particular rooms to use as film settings, because it's a very majestic entrance hall and I think it has a lot of potential. I think that if there's any income at all that we can generate from this, then I'm going to use it, because we still don't have a floor in the entrance hall. We don't want to put anything down for now. We want to put down a definitive flooring, and right now we're just lacking the means. I'm still reimbursing my loan, and will be for the next few years, about 3 or 4 years. I took out a loan to put down the parquet in the sitting room, if you recall, and on the first floor. And so I can't help there at the moment. Crown Imperials. They love it here in the middle of the drive.
hold on to the mane.
I'm not sure if she's used to that, but... I think that's enough.
Yeah, I think so.
Hello. Coming to see what we're doing, huh? They smell so sweet, cows. A bit like babies, big hairy babies. Oh, I'm getting rid of all the ivy off our back wall here so that we can plant a vine that a good friend of ours gave us years ago, and it's been sitting in a pot since then. And yeah, it was about time we dealt with it. Would you like some ivy? So how long do you think it's going to take for this vine to produce edible grapes?
Well, I mean, it might this year.
This year?
I would have thought.
A handful?
Yeah.
How many years has it been sitting in that pot waiting for us to deal with it?
It's not going to produce fruit in those conditions.
No, but how many years has it been sitting in the pot?
Oh, about 3 or 4.
How many?
3 or 4.
At least. Well, it's evening now. The sun is slowly setting. Still gorgeous. And since I put the cut wood on the village page of Facebook, a number of people turned up, in fact all on the same day. And a lot of the wood's gone, but one last customer, let's say, said he was coming by this evening and he'd bring his chainsaw and he'd cut up the last couple of big, huge logs, which are still intact, so not cut. And I don't know, so far he hasn't turned up, so I don't know if he's super fast or something, but I don't really want him chainsawing into the night. We'll see. The first mow of the year. My brother Max is hard at work doing at least to the front of the house, the courtyard. Now this wasn't holiday for me, as well as working in home office as an accountant from about 7 in the morning till 1 in the afternoon. I spent all my afternoons very, very busy doing drone footage, putting up the camera for the badger, clearing out the hall, emptying it, sorting out all the horsey items. Part of it went in the bin, part of it I had to put into the shed, clearing up the front of the house, tidying the sitting room for the lady who came to inspect the pigeon tower. I spent 2 entire afternoons picking up branches. I put up a field for the horses. I put out the recycling every day because I like to have the recycling bins empty. Feeding the animals, looking after my children, shopping. I did lots of planting. I did plenty of weeding, including on the pigeon tower and on the back wall of the garden. So yeah, my days are very full. Not a moment where I just sit down and read a book. In fact, I don't remember the last time I read a book, which is kind of sad. So my life at Morinville keeps me very busy, whether I'm on holiday or not. And soon we have an upcoming trip, which is going to take us away from Morinville, at least some of us, for about 10 days. I'll keep you up to date with that on my other channel.